What's up everyone, my name's Seth and today I'm going to be checking out the PRS SE Silver Sky. Hope you guys enjoyed that little demo track, which was obviously very inspired by John Mayer's own music. Just like the original Silver Sky, which I've actually already made a video about, the Silver Sky SE takes the classic Strat style design and makes a few refinements and changes. Because I know there's already a ton of videos about this guitar on YouTube, I'm just going to very quickly run through the specs. We have vintage style non-locking tuners, a synthetic bone nut, a maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard, and that fingerboard has a 8.5-inch radius. The body is made out of poplar, and we have a 2-point tremolo system on this guitar as opposed to the 6-point tremolo that is on the USA version. The guitar also comes equipped with a import version of the 635 JM pickups found in the USA model. In terms of build quality, I'd say this guitar is very solid where it counts. The neck joint is incredibly stable and there's no unwanted movement to the neck whatsoever. All the hardware and electronics work exactly as you would expect them to, and this guitar actually showed up set up with a very low action, which I honestly prefer, so that was cool. The thing that I was most impressed with on the guitar though was actually the fretwork. This is hands down some of the best fretwork I've ever seen on an Indonesian made guitar, period. The fret ends are perfectly rounded, each fret is polished incredibly well, so the tops of them are super smooth, and they're all leveled perfectly, so at no point does the guitar choke out bending anywhere on the neck. This is really impressive, especially when you consider that this guitar has a rounder fingerboard radius, which are usually notorious for choking out unless you get the frets absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, this guitar also has some blemishes, but thankfully none of them affect the functionality or playability of the guitar in any way. Starting with the body, we have a few finish flaws underneath the clear coat where there's these black dots that you can see on the upper treble horn as well as the side of the body near the pickguard. There's also a pinhole-sized ding on the neck pocket on the bass side. Another thing that I noticed was that there's a spot on the neck near the 3rd fret of the bass strings where it feels a little bit more textured, like the neck wasn't sanded down as well in that section. Not really a big deal again, and it's kind of hard to notice unless you're intentionally feeling the neck for any sort of bumps or textures. The final thing that I could find on this guitar was that the nut on the treble side actually hangs over just a little bit, but again, it's not enough to where it's going to really negatively impact you when you're playing the guitar, even on the 1st fret. Even with those minor flaws, I actually still really enjoy playing this guitar. The neck is finished in a vintage tinted satin, which aside from that one little spot that I mentioned, is actually incredibly smooth to the touch. The neck heel and PRS's signature treble scoop cutaway thing actually makes it really easy to play solos higher up on the neck, which you don't typically see access like that on a vintage inspired Strat, so it's really cool to see here, just like it was on the original version. And as I mentioned before, the frets on this are polished so well that all of your bends are going to feel absolutely phenomenal no matter where you're bending on the neck. The actual neck profile on this guitar, I'd say, is a vintage-inspired neck, but don't let that scare you into thinking that it's a baseball bat or it's some crazy thick neck, because it actually isn't. If anything, I'd say this is more in line with like a medium C neck, so it's a little bit bigger than a lot of modern Fenders you may be able to try in the store, but it's not unwieldy at all. I actually have pretty small hands and I hate big necks. this neck still feels very comfortable to me. As far as how the guitar sounds, there probably is going to be a lot of overlap between what I say in this video and what I already said in the original USA Silver Sky video, but to be fair, these pickups were designed to be as close a match to one another as possible. That said, these pickups are definitely also a more refined and idealized version of 60s Strat pickups. These pickups are a lot more clear than vintage clones or actual vintage pickups, at least ones that I've heard, but they also don't suffer from being overly brittle, especially in the bridge position. The nice thing is, though, even if you do find that bridge position to be a little bit harsh, they actually included a dedicated toe knob for that bridge pickup, so you can dial back some of that high end if you feel like things are just a little bit too bright. These pickups are still true single coil, so just remember that you're going to get some 60 cycle hum in positions 1, 3, and 5, just like you would in pretty much any guitar like this that's not using a noiseless circuit or noiseless pickups. The nice thing about this Silver Sky, just like in the USA version though, is that the middle pickup is RWRP, which means that in positions 2 and 4, you actually do get some hum cancellation. Now I'm going to play a few examples of what this guitar sounds like outside of the mix. Once that's done, we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the Silver Sky SE. Alright, here's my final thoughts on this SE Silver Sky. To me, this is a fun to play, great sounding, and rock solid guitar. The fretwork on this is honestly some of the best I've ever seen on an Indonesian guitar, and I feel like it would be at home on a guitar that costs about 2 times as much as this. The problem is that the guitar also has some cosmetic issues that reveal the fact that it is in fact an import guitar and that it's a sub $1,000 guitar. That said, for me personally, I do think this guitar feels and sounds a little bit better than a lot of the competition in this price range, but that's just my own personal preferences. If you've tried one of the SE Silver Skies, considering their much more affordable price tag in comparison to the USA version, let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below. I'm kind of interested to see, because I've seen a few reviews on YouTube where some people really are loving this guitar and other people just kind of feel lukewarm about it. If you have any experience, like I said, let me know in that comment section. I am planning on making a direct comparison video of this guitar and my USA Silver Sky, so if that's something that you want to see, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you turn on notifications so that way you know when that video goes live. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, maybe consider liking it since that really helps the video get shared around to more people. I also want to say a special thank you to all of you that have already subscribed to this channel. It really means a lot to me, and another special thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on Patreon since pretty much this channel started. That really means a lot, and if you're interested and you want to help support me and the channel, I've got links to do that in the description box down below. Thanks again, everybody, and I hope to see you again in the next video.